What's up, comic fam? Comic fans, we are back in the house. It is new comic book day. Why? With some comic news. But yeah, let's get into it. If you haven't heard, CBCS and Beckett were acquired by PCA. Not PCA, PSA. PSA, big in the business for grading cards, right? Big, I guess considered, CGC is there now too, but and what is it? CCG, I believe, is their card grading wing of the company, but PSA bought out rival Beckett and CBCS, and I mean that was big news because ESPN covered it. The New York Times covered it, right? Sports Illustrated covered it. So what that means is there's like a 80% monopoly now, right? 80% of like the cards going through grading will now be through PSA Beckett. So that's crazy. Which CGC's made a little dent in the card grading business, but that also means that PSA, who is getting into the comic book grading business, has now acquired the CBCS portion of that and the Beckett grading, authentication, signature authentication that was there. Now CGC has, in the last year or so, has started to also do autograph authentication. So that means that CBCS and Beckett weren't the only game in town, but still this shakes up the market a little bit. So that should be interesting. And then in case you haven't heard, because you've been under a rock, if you don't know, we're still waiting on the finalization of Netflix picking up Warner Brothers. I know Paramount made a last minute deal, made an all cash offer, tried a hostile takeover. It doesn't look like that's going to be made. It was an all cash deal too. Paramount was like, yo, we'll pay cash money. What does that mean? It means if this goes through Netflix itself, we'll have a big monopoly owning a lot of Hollywood and a lot of the studios, right? So we'll see what happens. I mean, Paramount's offer isn't dead in the water yet, but it looks like Netflix has a pretty good shot at it. All right. So that was the news. Now let's get into the comics coming out this week. Hopefully, all you guys out there had a great weekend, had a great week. It's been a while. I repeat, it has been a long time since not a long time. It's been about 2 weeks since I did my new comic book day. Why? Video. So we picked up some books, but I definitely want to show you some of the past week's books that I have before we got into this week's haul. All right. So let's just make sure. There we go. All right. Let's do this. This has been one of the top trending books for the last couple of weeks. And by last couple of weeks, I mean last week, because this literally came out last Wednesday. But it's either been number 1, number 2, or number 3 on a lot of the comic lists. Naman's in the house, a comic bookworm. What's up, Naman? Loyal Wolfen House. Ooh! There we go. So what is up, Naman? All right. So we're just showing off the comics this week. These are the new ones, right? So on Monday, I show off some old stuff. This is the stuff that I picked up in the last couple of weeks, primarily this week's books. But yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? Naman was with me on Monday Night Raw Books this Monday. If you haven't caught the replay, the rewind, go ahead and do that. He's practicing calligraphy during that episode, Korean and a little Chinese, but mostly Korean. All right, so what we have here is the Joker, the first appearance of the Demon Joker, or the Joker in his demon form, if you will. And we get the Joker origin story in this book as told by Alfred. Now, I've heard a lot of things about this, and some people were saying that this should have been a ratio cover, right? You get rid of the trade, you just leave the Joker and the Joker, right? Get rid of the little bug here, get rid of the issue number. Maybe you move the UPC to the back, and you just got Joker. Just turn into a Joker card, right? So, I've heard a couple of people say that. Izzyverse said that. Izzyverse NYC. He was one of the people saying that. So, all right. What else do we got this week? Ow! 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 All right. Well, what else did we get in the past couple of weeks? We got Absolute Batman number 14. This one's a key issue because it wraps up the Absolute Bane storyline. Plus, we get the first full appearance of Harley Quinn. We actually get to see the Harley Quinn character in this book. Now, because of the situation happening in that book, I don't think we got the full scope of what Harley Quinn is or what she could be as a character, but it was a good introduction, not a great introduction. We're still waiting on that. Absolute Wonder Woman, right? We got that the other week. This is a good one too, Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm really digging it. I'm digging the Greek mythology that's included in this. We have a cliffhanger at the end of this one because apparently Wonder Woman is going to Gotham, absolute Gotham at the end of this book. But yeah, this is a good story. A little bit to do with how magic, especially dark magic, has the price to pay. That's a constant concept in comics, DC and Marvel, is that if you use magic, there is a price to pay with your magic usage. Okay. All right. Let's get on with it. What else did we read last couple of weeks? I read a lot of these yesterday, by the way, just trying to catch up. And my computer blew up. So I keep telling everybody that. Yeah, I had a computer malfunction, if you will. Computer blew up. I had to get a new computer, but also I went on vacation, so I can't say my lack of content in the last couple of weeks was just my computer blowing up. It was a combination of a few things, including my desire to get away. All right, we got The Amazing Spider-Man number 17. Just so you know, odd number issues, right? Those go in space, or those happen in space. Even number issues happen back in New York City. And that's it. That's really all you need to know. We do get introduced to more characters that are related to Hellgate in this book. If you don't remember Hellgate's the guy who beats up Peter early on in the series and sends him to outer space. Basically knocks him out of the universe, knocks him off the planet Earth, and not so much out of the universe, though I think they are actually in a different universe too. All right. These have been coming out real quick, and I don't know why it feels like it's every other week with these, but we have the Infernal Hulk, okay? And the Infernal Hulk gets taken over by a demon, and that's pretty much it. You have this demon setting up, the world, waking up its brothers and sisters, also getting its little army together, and, looking to kind of take over. So we had issues 1 and 2 already come out of this book. Infernal Hulk. If you were reading the Philip Kennedy Johnson earlier Hulk stuff, this ties into that. So even though it's a new series, the Infernal Hulk that starts with issue 1, it really ties into the last run of Hulk. All right. We have Ultimate Wolverine number 12. This is the revenge issue. All right. And, the Ultimate Universe is supposedly coming to an end. Not supposedly. They said so far as it's coming to an end. But they also said Peter was dead when the Superior Spider-Man came out, and Doc Ock took over. And obviously they brought back, nobody believed that Peter Parker wasn't coming back. But here we go. We got Ultimate Wolverine number 12, right? So the Resistance gets pretty much slaughtered at the end of Ultimate Wolverine number 11. and that leaves Wolverine out for vengeance. You know what happens when he goes berserk, and so boom, Eurasia ends up with no leadership after this issue. I'll leave you with that. But there we have the Hulk, and we do have an appearance from Jean Grey in that issue as well. All right. Ultimate Spider-Man number 23. This is the penultimate issue, which means we're ending with issue 24. So we got one more left after issue 23. There you see the Kingpin, and he is fighting Peter there. And I mean, the cover speaks for itself. It's pretty much what you're getting in that book. And then we have a really dope cover by David Nakayama. DNA. All right. You got Soundwave on the cover. And this one's kind of, so what is it? Robert Kirkman took over in issue 25. This is 2 issues later. What we've got are the Autobots and Decepticons kind of rallying in this issue. I think we're still setting up a lot of what's going to happen in this book. So not bad. We're getting reintroduced or introduced to new characters. Reintroduced, I say, because some of these characters have existed in previous Transformers books, right? Especially the Marvel Universe Generation 1 books. So that's where we go. How'd the interview go? I had an awesome interview, honestly. I think it went really well. They didn't give me the job then and there, but, they still have a process to go through. So a lot of notes. I got some good feedback. I think they still have to interview two more candidates. I was the first one to go. I said, let's go. Let's get it over with. Let's get in there. Yeah. So I think the interview went well. And now we're just waiting to hear back and see, what they say. I should find out. I want to say next week, but I feel like they have interviews going, an interview Christmas Eve. So I feel like I probably won't find out till after Christmas if I got the job. So, but I had no regrets with the interview. I feel like it went swimmingly. So we'll see what happens. Your boy can have a new job pretty soon. All right. I might have some more comics from last couple of weeks in this pile here, but we're going to try to transition into this week's books. And we're going to start off with the Zdarsky newsletter, all right? Zdarsky comic news is ending, right? That's this issue here. Hope it's love at first sight. Me too. I actually really want to work there now after interviewing with them. I felt like the people who I interviewed were really, really cool people. I like the attitude. I like the vibe. So that's really, I think, it would be a good fit for me. Hopefully they think I'm a good fit for them. All right. Zdarsky news, comic news is coming to an end, guys. But the good news is that Zdarsky, if you see it as good news, all right. So, because I think it's not going to be free. So we're going to stop getting this free stuff. And then we're going to get, Zdarsky's going to make this comics magazine. Have you heard the news? Comics, the magazine. We love comics. You love comics. Buy our magazine about comics. So I'll probably get issue or magazine number 1. I thought magazines were dead, right? Everything seemed to be going to the internet, e-zines and all that stuff, or e-zines. So, but yeah, that's right. Somehow, finally, I'm reading this all backwards, by the way, launching a monthly comic book magazine. Each and every issue of Comic the Magazine will feature creator interviews about what you do read, features on what you should read, staff picks on what you will read, actual comics you can read, power rankings with real sales data, art instruction and classifieds, maybe a price guide. There's only one way to see what comics will look like. Buy it in comic book shops monthly. Issue number 1 coming March of 2026. So there will be a little wait for it. All right. So yeah, that's all coming down the road. It sounds very much like Wizard magazine, if you remember Wizard magazine. Which I was fine with. I loved Wizard magazine. It was kind of sad that, they gave it up, but it is what it is. But yeah, if if this cover feels familiar to you, it should feel that way. It kind of replicates the Death of Superman, right? Cover that they had back in the day. So that's a thing. In this magazine, you will find the good stuff that they've been having. This one's a little thicker than the usual, so I'm thinking Chip put a little extra money into his last one, his last free Zdarsky Comic News. All right. Witness the origin of the end. Let's see. What do we got here? Devil You Know and Love. You got Charles Soule. I tell you what, I had beef with Charles Soule for a while, and I still kind of have some beef with him. Homie sold me a comic that he claimed was only available at his booth, and that was available pretty much everywhere. He was like, "You won't find this comic anywhere else." It was at a convention. I walk like 3 booths down, and there's the comic on the table for less than he was charging. So, Zdarsky putting Charles Soule in his magazine here. This is my last issue, so screw it. I'm going to make it all about what are you going to do about it? All about me. What are you going to do about it? So yeah, this is a lot of his trades and omnibuses there, hardcover editions. I saw a softcover edition of a comic today for like $50, and I was like, "Good godly Miss Molly." That's crazy. Here's Chip's picks. Let's see. Infernal Hulk, Absolute Batman Annual, Ultimate Endgame #1, and Absolute Batman #15. Those are his top 5 books. And then there's Chip's picks. Oh, sorry, those were Steve's picks. Chip's picks are Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man 301, 302, 303, 304, and 305. I believe those are all issues that Chip Zdarsky did himself. And like he said, he's going to make this about him. All right. So anyway, if you see this in your comic shop, remember it's free. Go ahead and grab that. All right, guys. This may be the cover of the week. All right. And that's the only reason I bought this. I did buy Black Cat #1, and I did like it. Don't get me wrong. I did like the series. But I have way too many books, so I had to find stuff to cut. So Black Cat kind of got the screw job, if you will, got cut from the pull. But we saw this Adam Hughes cover, kind of a homage, playfully imitating the Catwoman cover that he did years ago. What was it? Catwoman 51 or something like that. So we got that with Black Cat. So we got that. G. Willow Wilson is writing it. I think the artwork inside it's good. It's not one of those books where they just put any Joe Schmo on art. It's got some good artwork. I don't remember the full name of the artist. Gleb Melnikov. So And this all kind of happens in the current Joe Kelly Spider-Man universe too. So working together. But Adam Hughes cover, Black Cat. He's been doing a couple of them, but this one, the playful, I guess, and like I said, imitation of the Catwoman cover. Kind of dig it. Kind of dig it. All right, let's see. I just read this one, The Mortal Thor #5. All right, and guess who's back? Donald Blake is back. Boom. So we got Donald Blake. We've got Odin. You got Loki in here. A lot of stuff happening. Yeah, Thor, he died in Immortal Thor. I guess he's been resurrected, but he doesn't know. He's just Sigurd in this book. So he's just I believe it's Norwegian. Just your average Norwegian beam walker, building buildings and helping the disenfranchised when they're in trouble. In this one, though, this Serpent Society comes after him, run by Donald Blake. And that was in issue 4, actually issue 3. And he basically takes them down, but they attack him on a skyscraper build site. So, they kind of fall far. And I don't know why I quotated fall, because they fell and died. A couple of them died. And yeah, so Thor gets taken in by the police, gets off because somebody breaks him out. Turns out it's the bad guys that break him out, and kind of ends on a cliffhanger. We got Absolute Flash. This is issue number, 10? I was going to say 7. I don't know why. Anyway, I like all the Absolute books. Again, art is pretty good in this book too. The writing's pretty good. Not my favorite. It's pretty good. Flash is probably in the top. Flash and Green Lantern are somewhere tied. Probably like 5 and 6 somewhere. So tied for 5th. Yeah, Gorilla Grodd in this one ends up being a good guy. And if you like cutesy monkeys with their brain exposed, you'll probably like the Flash. All right, Absolute Flash. I mean, if you're a Wally West fan, you also probably would like the Flash. What do we got? We got Sam and Twitch. I haven't read an issue of this since, I don't know, issue 2 or 3. I don't know why I keep getting it. I just, a lot of people say it's good. I just don't know if it's for me. I just don't like the word bubbles. I don't know. They throw me off. I'm a creature of habit. The art style isn't exactly my favorite. And again, not bad. Just not my cup of tea. I have to see how long. I mean, I know this is ongoing, so I really want to see how long this is going. I've collected all the issues so far. Maybe 20 is a good stopping point. But then I see the cover for issue 21. And issue 21's cover is a menace. Looks good. So we'll stay with that. Rich is in the house. What's up, Comic Cap Collectibles? What's up, buddy? I'm doing good, man, by the way. I accidentally hit the mic there. Yeah, but I'm doing good. Had an interview yesterday. I think it went well. We're here. It's New Comic Book Day. I read a bunch of my new comics. Yeah. What's up, Dagger? Dagger's in the house. Dagger, I'm literally watching before I came on. Spawn. Let's effing go. Yeah, you damn right, Spawn. Let's go. Yeah, I'm just going to share a second of this, but I am literally watching that video you sent me I should subscribe, right? Right there. I'll hit but yeah.
I've done a bunch of commissions for my buddy David, and drawing on a sketch cover. Okay, this is one from Ottawa Comic Con. Okay, and this is actually for my buddy David. You guys seen I've done a bunch of commissions for my buddy David, and he wanted me to do a Conan on this cover, and which is fantastic. I had never really drawn Conan in a long time. Like it was years before I drew that other piece. So I really left it the opportunity. And the thing about the sketch cover is that the size is a little bit bigger than your normal sketch cover. So I had a little bit more real estate, and I wanted to do a good job.
There you go. I won't go too far in case you want to, show that on your own channel. So we'll just we'll leave it at that. But yeah, Dagger's sketch cover made YouTube, guys. So that's actually pretty good. So that's awesome. Nice beard trim. Thank you. I just took a little bit off, cut here, got this out, ran that through, and you can see a lot of it already grew back, but I cut it for my interview the other day. So, I wanted to make it at least look trimmed up, nice. Got the neck a little good because this hair was like down here somewhere. So, just wanted to make it look presentable. And then this grew in weird here. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, he does some good work. The piece he shows before he gets to your piece is pretty phenomenal too. So that was a great thing. Yeah, check that out. He's got almost 1.5 million subscribers. That is a pretty legit amount of subscribers there. So, but he's a published artist, does movie and games and video game stuff. So he's out there. So yeah. There you go. James is a great artist. So yeah, this guy is. Yeah. Yeah, he's phenomenal. Oh, you should have seen the Conan piece he did before that. Getting back to the comics, we got Black Panther Intergalactic. So Black Panther's on Earth, Black Panther's in space. There's an introduction of a new character here in this book. Little kid. Trying to remember his name. Femi. So you got this guy, Femi. New character. We'll see where it goes. I picked it up. You never know, right? There's got to be a new Black Panther at some point. Maybe it's Femi. If you guys remember from a couple of years ago, there was Tosin Adoye. Don't know where that went, but that book blew up and then didn't blow up anymore. But yeah, art looked good. I didn't actually get to read this one yet, so that's on the to read list. It's issue number 1. So, we're trying to finish up the runs we're on, and then we'll start the new stuff. What else? Another issue of World Tree came out this week. This one's kind of been on and off. Good series. It's about, what happens if the dark web starts to infect minds and take over the world. So you have that aspect. One of the main characters dies in like issue 7 or something, and we're like 10 issues deep after that. So, there was a couple of issues of how they dealt with that. And then, here we are. They're still fighting the fight. As you can see, the world is turned into tent cities and such. Once the internet goes down, guys, it's like the zombie apocalypse out there, all right? So make sure you have, in case the internet ever goes down, make sure you have that bug out bag. Lots of cans of tuna fish. Lots of flashlights and batteries. Get a couple of knives in there. Go stabby, y'all. All right, what else we got? We got Catwoman number 82. All right. Catwoman sneaks into a secret society to see Falcone over here sell one of his prized family possessions, only to kind of end up trapped with the Court of Owls. All right. So this is actually, it's been a really good read. Yeah, Grunbeck. I always forget her name, Carla Grunbeck or something like that. She's doing a pretty bang up job, and it's Torin Grunbeck. It's not even Carla. But yeah, art in here is actually pretty good. Right, they're in this secret society, and then let's see, we have the sale of an item. Also, we do get a lot of origin stories of Selena Kyle here, right? So her dad, who wasn't really a dad, right? Sad story about absentee dad, absentee alcoholic dad, is in there, who kind of murders her mom. So that's crazy. Here you see the appearance of the Court of Owls, and then we have that famous Batman number 15 cover that everybody's got a copy of now, right? So everybody's got a copy of it. It's probably not going to be, like a $50 book at any point. Who knows? Maybe a couple of years down the road, but it is selling for like $10 on eBay already. So, but I went to a couple of comic book shops, and it's still on the shelf because everybody ordered, like 100 copies of it. So, if you have a LCS near you, try this LCS first before ordering it online. Get it for cover. Try to save yourself some money. All right. How much was it, Dagger? Because Nauman could probably do it for cheaper. Yep, Mike Ruth loves his editing skills. Mike did a Conan for me too. I might have to get the video of that too. Sweet. I bought so many from him. I think it is $300 for a color cover. He does give me a discount sometimes. Nice, as he should, because you're a veteran and you give him a lot of business. So for those two reasons alone, you should get a discount. All right. What else do we have? Exquisite Corpses. I got the C cover. It comes with the playing card. This is due out in 2026. Not exactly sure when the game will come out. Probably in the spring of 2026. But I've been collecting the C covers that come with the game cards. And this book was featured on my previews of the comics coming out this week. New Comic Book Day preview. Drops Tuesday nights. So check it out. All right, so we got Exquisite Corpses. I don't know what the preview is going to look like for next week, because next week, New Comic Book Day is on Christmas Eve. So I don't foresee a lot of new books coming out. You guys want to see something gross? You ready for this? Splurp. Eye ripped out. Just straight up eye ripped out. If you like a horror films with gore, you might like Exquisite Corpses, as it is. It's kind of like all the villains you ever wanted in a like comic booky horror film with the gore. So yeah, I'd like to do what that lady's doing to some people, right? What else do we have here? We don't want that. What else do we have in here? Trying to get you some good pages. Oh, the page next to the page with the eye. This guy's just talking and he's like, shut up. Hits him in the stomach with an axe. Yeah, so Exquisite Corpses, basically there's 13 there's 13 people from the original 13 colonies of the U.S. and every 5 years or so they get together, they throw a contest with killers, throw them into a town, and the killer who survives, who kills all the other killers, and they kill civilians too, whatever, the town supposedly gets wiped off the face of the planet. That group of people that with the winning killer gets to rule the world for the next 5 years. So pretty interesting concept. There's a game master in this one who kind of messes up, right? He's hired by all the people to run the event, and he kind of messes up. I would definitely get a Namen sketch cover too. If I do great as James, I'm not going to be cheap. Right? Like I feel like it's going to take a lot longer for Namen to do it. Not because he's not a great artist, but because James just seems to work. And it might be some of the editing too, but like it looks like he does his work like right? Crazy. I'm sure we missed some of his blue line work and stuff like that. This is actually a really fun book here, by the way, guys. No Place. This is issue number 2. All right. One of the main characters in this book is Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. All right. And here is the link. There you go. So I bought this book thinking like, all right, I'm going to give it one more issue and then I'm probably going to drop it. This is out of Ignition Press, by the way. Brand new editing publishing house. I think they've been out for about 2 months now. And I was like, you know what? I was like on the fence with issue 1, but that's usually the introduction anyway, right, to the story. So I was like, I'll give it one more go and we'll see what it's like. So I decided to do issue 2, and I'm glad I did because it's pretty funny. It looks like it has the monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. It's got some newer characters from Oz. Not that this is supposed to be Oz-centric, right? But No Place, which I forget what No Place stands for, but it's okay. The book tells me. Neither Operations Place, clandestine field office. It's Chicago. The Neither Operations Place, No Place. Not just. It's kind of X-File-ish in a way, but fantasy X-File, right? Instead of aliens and sci-fi, it's more fantasy and monsters. It's probably, but this group of it's really 2 kids and Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz investigate weird events that happen on Earth with monsters, and it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. I like it. So, like I said, originally I was like, I don't know if I'm going to stick with this, and now I'm like, you know what? It's good enough that I'm going to get issue 3. He does fast sketches on his lives. It is crazy. See, he just looks like he works like. That's who I am, super duper slow. Look at that. He's been following James for years. Namen, is James Asian? He looks Asian. Perhaps, I don't know, Filipino, maybe Korean. I could be totally off base. Maybe he's. I sent her a message about you. I'll send them a link to your channel too. Nice. Filipino. There we go. See, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth. I said Filipino. I only said that or because I have a couple of friends who are Filipino. And I was like, you know, he seems to have some of the characteristics. Am I out of books? Damn, I'm down to my last book. It was a slow week for books. And honestly, I have a few extra ones. Oh, and I got a blind bag, one of those Mark Spears blind bags. But here we go. We got Dreadnought War. What is this? Part 4? Part 3? Part 4? Part 4 or 5? That's right. Part 4. Like parkour? Part 4. All right. G.I. Joe. So you got Duke and Cobra Commander here on this. I think this is an awesome cover, right? And this kind of is reminiscent of a like an album cover here. That's the vibe I'm getting on this one, right? Yo, straight out of Compton. So yeah, I love the cover. I love G.I. Joe. Joshua Williamson is doing a great job with this series. It's crazy because you watch the cartoons growing up, and you aren't prepared for the violence that happens in the comic books. And the comic books are same thing with Transformers. Um, they're just way more violent than what you got in the cartoon series. And I don't know, you know, I mean, I guess you kind of get it. TV has a bigger spread, if you will, a bigger following. The comics, maybe they're not as keen on censoring them as much. Um, but yeah, when you read these comics and you see the Joes just flat up hitting people with cars and people getting shot with lasers and people's hands getting cut off or ripped off, it's like, whoa, what is going on? So crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, you got all right. That's Duke over there fighting with the Dreadnought. What is that, Ripper? Yeah, I think that's Ripper he's fighting. And Ripper ends up actually losing a hand to Cobra Commander. And then Ripper ends up just putting a chainsaw on for a hand. The Dreadnoughts basically they want to kill Cobra Commander. And that's what this whole Dreadnought war is about. Is they've tricked Cobra Commander into coming out to the desert, then kind of get him in the zone. Duke is following, right? Duke ends up there as well, and then Duke and Cobra Commander end up trying to work together to get away from the Dreadnoughts. They end up getting captured, and then there's a whole fight scene. G.I. Joe actually shows up at one point, right? The rest of the Joes, yo Joe, to save Duke, not realizing Cobra's there. And then Cobra Commander and Duke kind of get away. And then there's a nice back page with Cobra there saying, I'll give you a war. I'll give you a war. So it's a really good book. Honestly, I'm loving the action of G.I. Joe. Transformers is pretty good too, though we're kind of still getting introduced to the new creative team in that one. But Dan Mora is killing the artwork, honestly. So really, really good stuff. But yeah, that was my comic haul for the week, guys. So that's all we got. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. He used to make fun videos with his kids when they were little kids. They must have all grown up now, right? And they're all like, Dad, I don't want to do your videos. I'm going to go hang out. Yeah, of a character his son drew. Oh, that's pretty cool. It doesn't happen always, but, sometimes, the kids, because the parents do this stuff, they end up also doing the stuff. Like, if you got a dad or mom who's a chef, you become a chef, artist, have artist offspring. And it's just cool because I feel like you have in-house talent, right? You have like the in-house mentor, the teacher like lives with you. So it's really cool. My dad actually was a cook for a while in the military and a little bit outside, but mostly in the military, and chef and stuff. And he really learned to cook, and that's how I learned to cook. Like I would ask for things like eggs Benedict for breakfast, and he was able to make those kind of things. So, that was crazy. And so I would say my first few attempts at cooking were not the best, but over time I've honed my skills, and I basically 95 to 99% of my dinners during the year are home cooked. So very rarely lunch, we're probably more in the 90 percentile with lunch too. If I'm home or I have a chance to cook a dinner, I will do it, or pack a lunch. I'll pack a lunch. So that's That's cool. But getting way off topic, if you go to Comic Cons, sometimes an artist will have their kid at the booth with them, and they'll have their own little thing with drawings and stuff. And you know what? You never know. You never know. A lot of times these drawings are whatever, 15, 10 bucks, 15 bucks, 20 bucks, maybe 25 bucks sometimes, still way cheaper than what you'd pay for a regular artist. And obviously they're not polished, but you never know. Picking up one of those early artworks, you may get the first Alex Ross artwork or something like that. Plus you make the kid feel good. So, sometimes it's good to pick something up from the little ones while you're there. It's, the little aspiring artists, hook them up, make them feel good. Let's see. Eggs Benedict. Yeah, Eggs Benedict's delicious, man. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, $300. That is not bad at all. Like, if he's still charging $300 and that's not like a Dagger only discount, I would love to get something like he does. I'm seeing some of this cool work, and that is pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna head out because I got to go finish reading these books. I got some things to do. I got a work thing tomorrow, and I got to send out some thank you emails from my interview the other day. So I got stuff to do. I want to make a video, but I don't know if I'm gonna fit that into the time, if you will. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there too. But guys, thank you for being here. Dagger, thank you for sharing that video of your piece. James is a phenomenal artist. And it's good to see some of his other works. Like that's really cool. Naman, thank you for being here. Again, you have an open invitation to stop by my show on Monday nights. Even this one, if you want to talk about the new comics. Wednesdays, this one's for New Comic Book Day, so I will definitely be talking new comics. And then Mondays is free form with the older books, going through the collection and such, and opening packages. So thank you guys for being here. Comic fans, don't forget, if you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Right, make sure to give me a thumbs up before you head out. I would love that thumbs up action, if you will. Which it looks like everybody's pretty much giving me a thumbs up who's come through. So I appreciate that a lot, guys. Anyway, have a great night. Enjoy New Comic Book Day. All right. Enjoy it. If you haven't got to the shops yet, don't worry. Plenty of books out this week. You'll get something. This is the slow season for comics, so don't worry. You're not missing too much. A lot of side stories, except for like those continuing books that are happening. If you're getting new books coming out, with the exception maybe like Black Panther, there's not too much in there. A lot of the newer books that are coming out at this time are newer artists and writers who are just looking to break in, and this is the time they can get them in, because a lot of the established artists and writers are taking some time off for the holidays or on the con circuit and don't really have as much time. So this is a good time for them to back it off. Remember, New Comic Book Day next week is on Christmas Eve, so make sure your shop is open if you are heading to your shops. Because you don't know if your shop will be open on Christmas Eve. I know one of my shops will be open on Christmas Eve. But yeah, everybody have a great night again. Deuces, peace, deuces, we're out. Dance, feel the music. All right, and keep an ear out, guys, because I will be dropping information on my 1K subscriber giveaway, even though we're almost at 12K, right? Not 12K, 1,200 subscribers. So the one person watching right now who didn't run away, you know that I'm giving away a book. And I actually previewed the book in one of my earlier videos. If you go looking for the PSA video on my channel, you will find out information about about the giveaway. All right, peace, deuces, we're out.